They sling the dirt, and at times at each other. It's Stremme and Stremme on Slingin' Dirt, presented by Hercules Tire. Here are David and Ashley.
Hello, welcome. It is Tuesday, and you know what that means. It is time to catch up on this weekend's dirt short track racing right here on Slingin' Dirt, presented by Hercules Tires. We're your hosts, Ashley and David Stremme. And this week, we have Bobby Pierce, the smooth operator, joining us to chat about what he's got going on in some big news. We have Jonathan Superman Davenport. He picked up his 5th win of the year at the Lucas. Where were they at? Not Atomic. That's
no
right.
Surprise.
Brownstown rained out this weekend.
Snowed out. Well, rained out.
Sure, whatever you want to say. And last but not least, we have Stewart Friesen. He grabs himself a W at New Egypt Speedway. And we are so glad that you have joined us today. It is Tuesday. I'm getting my notes pulled together here.
You're supposed to have that done already.
I have them.
See me?
You have no notes.
I have no notes.
Yes.
You know why? Because I've been working on my race cars, trying to get them ready. So
yeah, you've been
in my
busy.
Not free time, but
you don't really ever have notes. But anyhow,
I have this year,
so,
just not now. But we're good, so I got a lot to talk about.
Okay, good. So do I. There is a lot of news coming from the big block world this week. Billy Pouch Sr. and Tyler Seary failed their tire test at Volusia.
That's no surprise.
No surprise. Okay, I'm kind of surprised.
Well, I am too, but we heard when Superman, Matt Shepard, was on, he goes, hey, I took some old tires and I run them down there. And listen, no way am I accusing Matt of doing that. But guys, I think the big block guys look at, hey, I'm going to go down there. Why buy new tires? They try to save some money. And I'm not saying that because there's a lot of tracks that allow altering of tires to try to save money. But in all fairness, you have to meet lab tests. And
absolutely.
They got busted. So in 3 weeks or a month, people forget about it.
Are you saying it's okay to do it?
I'm not saying, listen, I can't do it because
absolutely. We
I
own
have
a
a lot
business.
to lose.
Yeah.
But I feel that, and I'll use my brother, for example, doesn't have a lot of money, and I'm like, he races on a very tight budget, and I go, hey, well, why don't you just go put a little juice on them tires and go run them? You get another 2-3 nights on them, saves him some money, and he goes. So,
well, Siri is appealing.
Okay.
Pouch pretty much claimed that it's their own fault, and he blames the Kestrel Super Clean for cleaning his tires.
This is the thing that gets me. If you fail that test, all right, bottom line, you've done something, all right, because I have gone through and taken many of those tests. Now, and I'll go back to my opinion of altering tires. If you're finishing up in the front, don't alter your tires, okay?
Well, that was
I'm
Pouch's.
talking about, like, when I mentioned my brother, he was just learning, and I'm like, don't go buy new tires, just go use the older ones. But now, as you run better, you can't do that. And I love how the dirt guys or the dirt world always goes, I was just washing my tires. It's just what I was using. I'm like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, but Pouch claimed responsibility for it. He did say
he's old school. He manned up. Said,
absolutely.
I got busted.
But he said himself, he's like, it's not like he was setting the world on fire down there. I think he finished in the top 5 one night.
So that's probably when he got sampled.
It is, yes. But they're doing it extremely random. It's not just the top 3. They're taking sometimes fast qualifiers, sometimes heat winners. And they said that for any reason that they would sample anybody who was in the A main.
You hit on something that is very, very big to me, and it really pisses me off. And we're talking about, and again, this could be, all racers know, this could be a full show on tire analysis and stuff. The thing gets me, I was at a track, I'll just say this. When they're checking tires, check qualifying. In dirt, it means everything to start up front in your heat races, and when they're qualifying, and all they do is roll across the scales, and then, okay, yeah, we're going to start heat races, and then they sample after the feature. My problem is check qualifying, because guys are bolting tires on and doing stuff, and it really ticks me off because I go, man, that's where your night starts.
Mm-hmm. But the fines are pretty large. It is.
They need to be.
It's $2,000 if you do not meet the benchmark, and then you have to give back your winnings for that night.
Ouch.
And you also have to pay for the tire sample, which is $150.
That was Super Dirt Cars did that.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Good.
But kudos to them for trying to make the sport fairer.
It'd probably been cheaper to buy that brand new tire.
Absolutely.
But
we could go on for days. Absolutely. But a really cool thing, they announced Dirt Car, 17 full-time platinum drivers this year. So
is Hearn on that?
I didn't actually read the list myself, but I do believe he's on there, yes.
Wow, that's good.
But,
he said he was going to run the whole deal.
Yes,
so
he did.
17
absolutely.
teams will be following the whole series.
Yes. So
probably more. But
so pick up your area auto racing news if you want to read the whole pouch series shenanigans in Florida.
They heard
It's
enough
a
here. We're
article.
good.
Absolutely. Okay, so another pet peeve of mine. A few weeks ago, we talked about Delaware restarts.
Oh, God. I thought we were done
really,
with that.
well, we are. We're going to talk about another thing that I'm not very fond of, and it comes from Kutztown, Pennsylvania. It's called the Action Track.
Imagine in the Commonwealth state we're going to talk about this.
Well, pump the brakes here. 1 second,
Go on.
sir. 1 second. So recently, you've probably never been to Kutztown, but it's in the middle of a college town, and in the summer months, the college town is dead. They race at this racetrack. The racetrack's been there since like 1905. It was a horse track first. They started racing, auto racing there in 1940. They run about 16 shows a year. Well, recently, the promoters asked to have more races added, and the fair board voted against it.
Wow.
They race Wednesday nights. The place is packed every single Wednesday night, and they get out of there. They're done by 10:30 most nights.
That's pretty good then.
Absolutely. So the reason that they were against it is the locals are upset about the noise and the dust.
Oh.
Folks, you moved to a town that had a racetrack.
Yeah.
Okay, that upsets me. I come from Port Royal Speedway. It's also run by a fair board. It's also smack dab in the center of town. And on 3rd Street, it's literally how you get to the pit gate. And they complain about the dirt and the noise.
You know
I
what,
believe there should be a curfew, but ultimately you moved to a racetrack.
I'll give you my opinion of, and I've learned this from the NASCAR world when I was there, and you learn politics and different things.
Sure.
Bottom line is you go and you find out how much revenue's brought in.
Absolutely.
And how much it saves on taxes, and folks, they'll love it because there's a lot of revenue brought in from other counties and different things, and people seem to forget a lot of that. I quote the Fairbury people love it.
Yeah.
You know, they and speaking of Fairbury, they have new grandstands going up, big restrooms, a lot of stuff.
And they're also run by a fair board.
Yeah, they're run by the American Legion.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, when they start seeing that, it changes a lot of people's tones. And
that's why I'm surprised that they said no, because it is in the summertime. The town is pretty dead because college is out of session.
The thing is, it's probably just 1 or 2 people that have nothing else to do because there's nothing else to do in that town.
Well, I believe
and
the
they're
fair
going to
board,
raise hell.
The fair board voted 1-5, 5-1, I think,
or
against it.
Anyways, it's a
Either way, I'm just
mess.
very disappointed. We're racers, and if you move to a town with a racetrack,
what else you got?
That's really it. I mean, we can go
So your
over.
pet peeve of the...
my pet peeve of the day is don't move to a racetrack and then complain about it.
Yeah. I mean, I give them one thing. They're done early. I hate places. Listen, if I live closer to track and they were still going at 2 a.m., I'd be pissed, you know.
Absolutely.
So anyways...
a quick shout out to we're going to do a fan of the week this week. Travis Uhlberg. He tried to do the double with Susquehanna and Port. He drove 9 hours from Michigan to see Williams Grove. He was sending us a bunch of pictures this weekend. So kudos to you.
We just decided to do fan of the week then.
Yeah, right now.
Okay. Great.
I make the rules here.
I
You should know that by now.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we will be right back to talk to Bobby Pierce. Keep it here on Slingin' Dirt on MRN, presented by Hercules Tires.
Slingin' Dirt returns in 1 minute on MRN.com.
O'Reilly. If your vehicle isn't stopping like it used to, visit O'Reilly Auto Parts for the Spring Break Deals event. Take advantage of O'Reilly's Do It Right rebate and get a $20 O'Reilly gift card by mail when you buy a set of Brake Best Select pads and a pair of rotors. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better prices every day. Limits apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. Hi, this is Eli Gold, the host of NASCAR Live. You know, we've been taking your calls every Tuesday night for over 30 years, but now you don't have to wait for Tuesday to let us know what's on your mind. Call Motor Racing Network's fan hotline at 844-4-ASK-MRN.
You know, I enjoyed this past weekend's race. I didn't understand why Danica...
He can dish it out, but he can't take it. When he bang it in the joint.
Be a part of the voice of NASCAR. Call 844-4-ASK-MRN.
MRN's Wing Nation on MAV TV.
Hi, I'm Donnie Schatz.
This is Paul McMahon.
Hi, I'm Brian Brown.
I'm Steve Post.
And this is Kendra Jacobs.
Join us every Saturday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time for MRN's Wing Nation, presented by Sage Fruit on MAV TV.
I'm Kyle Larson.
Hi, I'm Sammy Swindell.
I'm Kerry Madsen.
We talk with sprint car winners, newsmakers, and personalities and give you the latest sprint car news every week.
I'm Rico Abreu. This is Wing Nation with Stephen Kendra.
MRN's Wing Nation, presented by Sage Fruit.
Saturdays at 9:30 on MAV TV.
This is Slingin' Dirt on MRN.com. Now back to Ashley and David Stremme.
We're the Stremmes, and this is Slingin' Dirt presented by Hercules Tire. Now joining us on the line, it is the smooth operator. I need he needs like a theme song to go with that. But anyhow, it is Bobby Pierce. Welcome to the show, Bobby.
Hey, thanks for having me.
I want to play, like, when I hear the smooth operator, I just think like WWE. I like want you to walk out to like this real cool song.
Either that or play some Spade.
She has got this sugar high, and it is killing me today. But hey, I want to know what's going on. You didn't go to Belclair. You were going to go to Brownstown. Obviously, got rained out. We haven't seen much of Bobby Pierce this I wouldn't say spring yet, but
I was going to say we've only been racing for 2 months.
What's Bobby Pierce been doing?
Trying to get the race. As you said, we were going to Brownstown and it rained out. We were planning on going to Atomic also for that Lucas race, but just last second we decided not to go because we expected it to be rough and hammered down with all the rain, and considering how Florence, Kentucky was the week before that. But turns out, you know, our luck, the track was smooth and slick, and we should have went to that race, but we didn't. And then it was just too late to go to Belclair by the time we thought about it. For the kind of money it was paying, we just, you know, decided to stay home anyways and just kind of regroup for all the big races coming up. So you'll see me a lot here coming up. We got a big race at LaSalle this weekend, 15,000 win on Saturday, and another big race the next weekend at Farmer City, which is 15,000 on that Saturday also for the Atlanta 100. And I won both races at LaSalle last year, so I'm really looking forward to it.
So the Pierce posse will be strong at LaSalle and at Granite City. Is that where you said?
LaSalle, Illinois this weekend, and then Farmer City.
Farmer City. Farmer City.
Granite City's got a big show coming up sometime in April. It's a Lucas race, so I'll be there for that.
Now, between all the dirt stuff, you are gonna run some of Mike Mittler's truck, or what's going on there too?
Yeah, we're planning on it. Hopefully, we got some races scheduled in May that we're going to try to make too, and if we get some sponsorship help, that'd be Kansas, Dover, and Charlotte is what we're trying to go for.
Well, Dover, you'll love Dover. That's
oh yeah.
It'll
and
be
for sure,
really
I'm sure I can get some tips from my buddy Tyler since he won that.
Yep. Yeah. Just remember, your buddies only help you so much because you got racing.
When we get to the racetrack, there's no time for friends.
Yeah,
that's exactly right.
Sorry, Tyler, if you're listening to
this. Yeah. So you're gonna go run the Hell Tour again? I mean, is that what you're just gonna? What's going on with that midsummer program?
You know, we got to think about it. As for now, maybe not the whole tour, just because I might be doing some asphalt stuff here and there. And the only reason I would, unless I have some asphalt races, but you know, I'd love to do it again. The Hell Tour is so cool, and I always say it every year. You know, if you're a dirt late model driver and you've never done it, you have to do it at least once. You know, check it off your list because there's nothing so demanding, but yet at the same time, you know, you're getting the race almost every single night, and who doesn't like that, right?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
So we're not going to defend our Hell Tour championship. Are we going for a 3-time dirt car championship?
We'll see. Last year was kind of a last month decision on if we were going to go for it or not, and it really paid off. But we're kind of just got to see if we pick up some points, you know, have some good runs in the UMP races this year, and towards the end of the year, we'll really look at it and decide. I hope it'd be pretty cool to get it for a third time. But we'll see.
So, and you had said a lot of this hinges on the, asphalt side. Is that trucks? Is it going to be running maybe trying to get some late model stuff?
We might be able to run some late model stuff down at Hickory Speedway in Dale Jr.'s car again, but I'm not sure about that. Really just anything I can kind of get into if I have the time and it's not scheduled on a huge dirt race that I want to go to, say the World 100 or the Dream or any of those big crown jewels that we have scheduled. But for the most part in the trucks, it'd be with Mittler Brothers as for now. And, we haven't really talked to very many other opportunities with the trucks. But Mittler Brothers, they've been great to us so far, so hopefully we can get some more races with them.
I got something. I'm going to be throw this out there because you want to get asphalt races and do some stuff. We're going to be at it's a friend of mine's memorial race in Kalamazoo, Michigan. Gary Terry, he was killed last year, and they're wedge body asphalt cars. You have any interest in running one of them?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I always hear my dad talk about how the wedge days were always the funnest back when they had them in the dirt late models. I think it was like the 1980s, so that'd be pretty cool.
I will work on, I'll get with Gary Howe and those guys up there because we're going to be, I'm going to give you, this is just off the top of my head, I think it is June 15th. It's right before the Michigan race. And we'll be going up there and really trying to have a lot of fun in memory of Gary. I'm going to get to drive his brother's car. But I will try to work on a ride, and I'll be in touch with you. We'll line it up, hopefully try to get something. But I think it'd be really cool, Pierce Posse, see you on the asphalt side up there in what would be Lower Michigan.
Oh, right on.
So
see if we can do it.
Those wedge body cars are alien cars.
They're fun. That's what I grew up running. So
Right.
I will.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, but I will work on that and see because I think it would be great from Bloomer run Randy Sweet's car. It was 5-6 years ago, and I was like, "What the heck?" And he actually did really well. And I think after running dirt that, and we've seen you run on asphalt. And LW has told me over there that runs Junior's late model stock program. He talked very highly of you, so I could probably get somebody get you a ride up there.
Yeah, that'd be sweet. Like I said, I've always wanted to just kind of feel what it'd be like to run a wedge car.
Well, we'll work on that.
So Bobby, is asphalt ultimately where you want to be? Is that full time, something you want to do full time, or are you always going to have your feet firmly planted in the dirt world?
I'd like to always be in the dirt world. Is a little bit, it kind of just depends on where my asphalt career would go. If it goes great, have some good runs here and there and attract some sponsorship and whatnot, then, you'd see me less in the dirt world. But even, you see guys that race a lot of asphalt races, take Austin Dillon, the Dillon brothers, and Justin Allgaier. Those guys are still dabbling in the dirt stuff too. So even if I were to get, say, that far, I'd still like to do some dirt races here and there. But I know there's a lot of dirt fans out there probably listening to this right now. And it's not like I'm going anywhere right now, but if it were to happen, then yeah, I definitely
take the opportunity.
Definitely like to, do some more asphalt races and get some more experience. And that's what it's about, is just getting the experience, because it just makes you such a better driver in general too.
It's funny, I listen to you and you talk about the fans, and being my background's all asphalt. The asphalt side, they welcome dirt people. They're like, "Oh yeah, come on over, you can race," and everybody's racing. The dirt side, I'm still probably not. I'm looked at as an asphalt guy when we go race. It's very hard to get in with dirt fans, and they are diehard. And I know what you're saying. They're like, "Please don't go. We want to watch you at LaSalle or Belleville or wherever, But I understand what you're saying. And you look at, have you talked to like Josh Richards and some of the guys that have been able to go and run some asphalt races and have deals, and lean on them for maybe some advice?
The main one would probably be Tyler. Me and him are really good buddies, and as you see, he's made it very far into the truck stuff, and he's doing a great job with that. So I can kind of talk to him for a lot of it, and I haven't really talked to Josh much about it. I know he tried it for about a year or two, and it just, with the money situation and all that, just never really worked. And Josh has such a good late model background too, with his dad building the cars and stuff. And he's a great dirt driver. So that's just sometimes you might want to just stay there and do that. Take Josh for example. He's just so good, and he doesn't really need to go any farther, I think. But I can talk to Tyler a lot for it. We're always texting back and forth, and me and him have been good buddies for a long time.
Well, tell him, throw you a little cash and go run some truck. I mean,
yeah,
that's all it takes.
It
people
only
are
takes money. That's exactly
just
right
have
in the asphalt world.
I love how that always is out there, and that's what's really, when you talk about funding and sponsorships, it takes so much on the asphalt side. I was just talking with some late model guys. They were at the Rattler in Alabama, a late model show that takes $35,000 to $40,000 to go race, and this race only pays $5,000 to win. And that's where, as I've gotten older and I watch this and I go, I'm on the dirt side. These guys are racing for $10,000, $15,000 all over for like 40 laps, and they're there one day.
Yeah.
But understanding, and I think it's very difficult for younger guys like yourself, because we had an ASA series, or we had, cup owners that would say, hey, we're going to invest a little money in you and try you out. And it's very hard this day and age with everything going on.
Yeah, you're definitely right. Take back in the day, the races that you'd run for would be the same to win as what they are now, but yet the cost of racing has went up so much since then.
Yep.
And, that's always, the struggle, but, we're racers and we're going to find a way to race no matter what, probably, so.
Yeah. And with
At
saying
least
that,
you
you'll race
understand
anything.
that. Yep.
And
that being said, you'll race anything. I want to ask about Eldora. Obviously, you're probably going to run the truck there. Is there a chance that you might be in a big block?
Yeah, I'm definitely going back for the Mud Summer Classic, but I don't know. I'm looking forward to that at the least.
So maybe a big block car?
You don't seem to really be spilling any beans here.
I don't nothing that I know of yet.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Well, hopefully there's. I don't know. Is the big block deal an invitational?
I honestly don't know.
I don't know either.
I think that was
part of the deal.
Yeah, I don't know, but
Makes sense.
it would be cool. I mean, that Eldora. How big do you think? Say to NASCAR fans that know nothing about dirt racing, how big do you think what Tony and NASCAR have done with that Eldora race has helped, say, dirt track racing?
It for sure, because he's just taken what Earl Baltus has built it up to be, and then he's just took it even farther after Earl, and he's just done a great job with the whole deal. You look at it with the late models, you have two of the biggest late model shows in the country are there, and then you take sprint cars, they have all their big races there too. And it's just kind of crazy if you think about it that way. And then he also added NASCAR too. You take back in the day, I say back in the day, but I don't know, probably like 10 years ago when he started the Prelude to the Dream. And that was just crazy to see NASCAR drivers racing dirt late models. And then no one ever even thought about NASCAR trucks or just NASCAR cars in general racing on a dirt track until, they all thought that idea up. So it's pretty crazy, and I think it's definitely one of the biggest races that you see on TV throughout the year.
Yeah, it is. I think it is neat to bring awareness to the local dirt tracks. Get people out there. They go, hey, well, I want to go check that out. They see something different, and Tony's done a lot for our sport there. So
awesome. Well, we appreciate you being on the show, Bobby, and we wish you the best of luck in both the dirt and the asphalt world, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you later this year.
All right. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thanks.
Thank you.
And you even got to add your 2 cents to Eldora.
Uh-oh.
Even Roger Slack said
Oh, yeah, they added the bathrooms. That's funny that I'm kind of... I was telling somebody that. I said...
I wonder if Roger, if you're listening, because we do know that you listen from time to time, maybe you can get like a plaque with David's name on the front.
I don't need a plaque on the shitter, okay? We don't need that. But it was cool, and I'm being serious on trying to get Pierce. I'm going to do some calls here, and he just wants to race. I really... enjoy that in him. The younger guys are like, hey, we'll go race whatever we got to race.
Absolutely. What did Jake Gallardo say? They'd go to Canada for $40,000.
His exact words were, shit, he'd go to Canada for $40,000.
Okay, sorry. Thank you. But Superman Jonathan Davenport joins us next. But first, we have to pay some bills. You need to get Ultra Performance with STP Ultra 5-in-1 Fuel System Clean. STP, in for the long haul.
Slingin' Dirt returns in 1 minute on MRN.com.
Whatever you drive, wherever you go, Hercules Tires will get you there, whether you're running on dirt or running a job. Our dependable, high-quality tires are the perfect fit for your needs. For unmatched value, selection, and warranty with industry-leading road hazard protection, there's only one choice: Hercules Tires. To learn more, visit HerculesTire.com or call 800-677-9535. Hercules Tires, right on our strength.
Motor Racing Network, glad to have you aboard for our coverage of practice, something we will be doing all throughout the year.
They are pretty close in practice.
You said you learned a lot in practice.
We can have a good, clean practice.
How many teams are going to opt out of practice?
Get this practice session underway.
As we close out practice.
What are we talking about? Practice? We're talking about practice, man.
We are talking practice. Sprint Cup Series practice on the Motor Racing Network. Join us all season long on MRN.com and the MRN app. Looking to find the best place for all the latest NASCAR Sprint Cup, Xfinity, Camping World Truck, K&N, and Modified Series news? MRN.com is the place to go. Your online home for NASCAR news, opinion, podcasts, videos, race schedules, results, and statistics. Award-winning motorsports writers keep you informed and up to date on all the latest breaking NASCAR news and in-depth stories and opinion. MRN.com, your online home for all the NASCAR information you're looking for. This is Slingin' Dirt on MRN.com. Now back to Ashley and David Stremme.
Welcome back to Slingin' Dirt, presented by Hercules Tires. We're your hosts, Ashley and David Stremme. Now joining us on the hotline, he just picked up his 5th win on the season. Could history be repeating itself? Welcome to the show, Jonathan Davenport.
Thanks for having me on.
So we can talk about winning for days with you because it seems like that's all we do when you're on the show. But do you think that last year can be repeated?
Oh, I don't know. It's still a dream come true. You know, last year, the season we had, and you know, we're sure going to try. We don't know if we can. We had a lot of stuff fall our way. You know, just a lot of those big wins got a lot of luck involved, and you know, I definitely think our equipment's up to par or better than it was last year. So I don't see no reason why we can't, just as long as Lady Luck's on our side.
I love that about him. He's just down to earth, just kind of like, well, we're going to go out and have fun. I want to know, how's the fishing going?
It's going pretty good. I went yesterday morning, and we had a big cold spell here in the Carolinas, and the wind's been blowing, so it's dropped the lake temperature 5 or 6 degrees. So the fish are moving a little more than they was. But I took the day off, give them a break. So I'll probably get back at it tomorrow morning.
I got thinking about this, and it kind of hit me, and I don't know why. I was like, hey, we're gonna have Jonathan on, you know, and we knew you won Atomic, and I was like, let's just have him on there. You know, he's the original, what I call Superman, even though they tried having Jimmy Johnson as Superman this weekend. But I got thinking, we had Bloomer on here last year, and he was talking about fishing. I'm like, what? You know, like, and he's pretty big up where he's at. He goes fishing. Would you ever go fishing with Scott?
Of course I would. Yeah, I mean, I hear he's pretty good. You know, he lives right there on a big. I don't know if it's a lake he lives on or the river right there.
Yeah.
Something, but yeah, I've heard stories of him. You know, just taking off, still have a lot of work to do to get ready to go to Eldora somewhere. He's like, come on, boys, let's go fishing.
Is that why he shows up at the track late, is what you're saying? No, but he told us that he's got it figured out on his lake because he gets in his helicopter, flies over, or not his helicopter, his airplane, flies over and finds out what their fish are, and then he gets in his boat and goes over to that area. So I don't know how much cheating and baiting is going on there, but...
I don't have that luxury, but, you know, I just I get out there in my boat and try to find them. But I guess an airplane would help, maybe.
Well, you've been doing and the reason I say this, fans, is I follow him on Twitter, and he was tweeting pictures, you know, of was it Striper you had? Was it?
Yeah, usually.
Yep, so you had some Striper and some other stuff, and I'm like, I love it. You know, you would think, and I think that's probably the neatest thing about you. You're very interactive with your fans, other even types of fans of motorsports and that. They get to see this dirt late model guy, and they're like, oh, man, and you're just kind of like, yeah, I was just out fishing. But with that, what are some of the new obstacles or something that you think this year you're kind of like, all right, I really would like to better myself in this area, or maybe it's a challenges that you're faced last year that you're like, hey, I really want to work on that?
I really don't know just how to narrow it down to a couple. I'm sure, just going across the country to different racetracks. I got to go to a lot of new places last year, and a lot of places I struggled at, and then a lot of places I used to struggle, we ran good at. But just as far as the racing deals, mainly just trying to get better at, all the different types of racetracks that we do go to.
Well, we all know I want to talk about Lucas and the rules and all of the shenanigans that have happened there, because
I wasn't going there with
you
any
weren't.
of that. No.
Well, it's my job, I think. But we all know, and it's been talked about, how it's been directed towards Mr. Rumley and his amazing engineering. And you're the type, and I've always said this, and I love it about you. You don't get real excited after you win a race. You'll pat your car and say, good job, honey, and get out and be excited. But you made a comment in your post-race interview that I really enjoyed hearing coming from you. And it was the fact that you had a little bit of attitude, and you're like, we were working on stuff, yeah, but we were doing other stuff that they weren't paying attention to. And I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, we, like I've told, people before, the great musicians in the world, they have sleight of hand. So they create something that everybody's looking at when they're doing something else to, actually, make the final punch or whatever you want to call it there for their show. So, the stuff we was doing last year, it's not just one piece that made us so great or something that, Kevin, me and Kevin, we just figured out a problem we had with our cars and with all the cars, and we tried to figure out a way to fix that problem. Well, within fixing that problem, we made other problems. So then, it just all snowballs, and y'all know just as well as me and everybody else, you're going to test things, and 10 things you do ain't going to work, and the one thing that will. So, we just keep moving on with the program, and they can change the rules or whatever. Sure, we probably ain't going to be happy about it when something's directly, directed towards us, but we get over it, we'll go on, and we'll figure out a better mousetrap to go faster.
Well, I tell you,
I
feel, and this is my soul-heartedly opinion, as I've watched dirt late model racing and I've gotten to watch it more and more, I watch it because you and Kevin were together before the last couple of years. Is that correct? You drove a little bit?
Yep.
And I think both of you have matured and definitely gained way more knowledge when you're separated, and you've come back. And what I see is in the sport, you have people working hard. It's not just you two, but there's other people. And the chemistry is so good between you guys that I think they, I really think it's disappointing in motorsports that they go, oh, well, we're just going to go and change rules or do this. Innovation is what we need. And when you look at NASCAR, you look at a lot of different series, it's always been that way. Guys that work hard succeed.
Yep.
But I go past just mechanical things. I think there's a true relationship that I see with you two. It's just like yourself. You get out of a car and it's like, well, all right, we won. We're going to go to the next one. And I see that, and people miss that. And I really honestly do believe that you guys have matured and really come together as a group and are going to be pretty tough, no matter what they do.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, you're exactly right. Me and Kevin, we're pretty close, and we think a lot alike, and a lot of things that he doesn't see. I'm more detailed and stuff, and so a lot of things he misses I pick up on, and vice versa. And people see us. We don't really talk that much when we're at the racetrack. We'll just say a few words, and we basically know what each other is going to do or needs to be done to the car. And we don't really celebrate a win too much, because as soon as the rag drops, it's that race is over with, and it's time to get on to the next one. So we're already trying to plan and be prepared for it.
Since we're on the topic of Kevin and y'all's relationship, you're on the road for months at a time. Is there any time, and what do you do when you're ready to just cut his throat and be like, just get away from me, I need my 5 minutes? Does it ever get like that, and what do you do to separate yourselves?
Oh, of course it is. I mean, you're around anybody. I'm sure you're going to have arguments or, not agree on certain things. And I'm kind of OCD, little clean freak, and he is absolutely 100% opposite. And so, we get into it all the time about that. But no, we know how to push each other's buttons, but we know about where the limit is. So we know how to lay off one another too.
Well, it's funny that you talk about the opposites do attract, but how about I want you to tell the fans, and I thought this was a really cool story, especially, we just had Bobby Pierce on, and he didn't talk about it, but he spends a lot of time with his father and doing stuff. And your little boy's growing up, and we had joked last year you were racing for shoes and all this other stuff, or I think you tweeted that. But isn't it your little boy really looks forward to after the race now, riding in the car after Victory Lane?
Yeah, definitely. He's he got so upset at Volusia because I think it was really muddy out on the front straightaway, so he didn't get to come out there. I think we ran third or something, and he was, I guess it's a bad thing, but it's a good thing. He was getting used to getting his picture taken, at Ocala and then at, what was that, East Bay and a couple other places. He got his Victory Lane photo and got to ride in the car. And, yeah, he really looks forward to that. And I just, it's a pleasure having him around, and he's old enough to understand what's going on now. And so I'm going to try to take him with me as much as I can until he has to start school.
And he's pretty disappointed when he doesn't get to take the trophy back with him.
Oh, yeah, very disappointed.
So who does he follow more, your wife or yourself?
What's that now?
Who does he follow more, your wife or yourself?
It's pretty about 50-50, really. She's very good with him. She knows when we're at the racetrack, that's my business. That's where, I earn my money at. So they go off and do things together. And then when I have time to play with him, I do. But it's I don't think he has one special parent, really. So it's kind of divided 50-50 between us.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Love it. Eventually we'll see him turning wrenches on that machine, I'm sure.
Turning wrenches? How about, are you going to put him in a go-kart or anything?
Man, I don't know. That ain't got enough money to start another racing career here. I want to buy a golf club or something. But he loves it so much, though. I'm sure he's gonna be in it at some point. I'm sure, because that's all he wants to play with, race cars and race cars only. Just about. He ain't really worried about no balls or bats or anything like that. He just wants to sit down and play race cars.
Hey, when your dad's Superman Jonathan Davenport, I can't say I blame him, for sure. He's definitely got some good shoes to follow.
What's something that's coming up on the schedule, say last year race that you didn't get to put in the bucket list, that one you want to put on this year for a win?
Let's see here. Probably Batesville. I've always wanted to win at Batesville. I've had a lot of good runs there, but just never great finishes. I've finished in the top 3 a couple times, but we got the Bad Boy 98 coming up, and then, of course, a couple months after that, the Topless. But that's the cool racetrack, one of my favorite places at Batesville. I'd like to pick us up a win there for sure.
Yep.
And I don't know. I think we kind of give one away. We had a parts failure at the Silver Dollar Nationals out in I-80 in Nebraska.
Yeah.
So that would be a cool one to win also.
What's a track that you'd really like to go to you haven't been to yet?
That's a good question.
Is there anything like up in, say, the Northeast, or I know you went to Tucson out in the Southwest. Is there like another part of the country that you haven't been able to race at yet?
I'm sure they are. I don't know if I could really pinpoint one right now, but I just like to race. Wherever, whenever. It don't matter if we're in a go-kart, a tricycle, or a dirt late model. I don't care. I just like to race.
Hey, I will give you, because I know we've been saying this. I'm like, hey, I got another car. I do have, okay, I'm just finishing up my second car. And I've
if
told...
we can keep it for more than a week.
No, I said I'm not selling it. I've had... Because I always keep selling a second car and I only got one. And I've told you, I know you texted me last weekend or a couple weekends ago, I don't know, they've run together. Hey, you race anywhere? But I do have a second car that, hey, it's going to be ready to go because I want to put different people in it. That's something that I've wanted to do last year and we were unable to with moving cars. But that is always open to you if you're up for it.
Well, definitely. I appreciate that. And I understand. I mean, you're trying to run a business there and somebody's wanting to buy a car and that's what you're in the business of doing, selling cars. So you definitely got to do that. But, yeah, I definitely enjoy, like I told you before, I've never driven a modified, so I'd like to try it out. And I'm sure there's something I could learn on that side of it to make me a better driver for my late model stuff.
Hey, is Fairbury on the schedule for this year?
Oh, definitely, yeah. We'll probably go down Fairbury for a 2,000 win show or something if we get a chance.
Isn't that funny how that works? You're like,
yeah, it's awesome.
When it comes to Fairbury, you're like, I don't care what they're paying. We're just going.
We're going to
That's it. Yeah, we're just going to go.
We're going for that. And I blame Rumley for me getting addicted to falls because he's like, oh, you got to come up here. I'm like, heck, I'm always up for something different. Now I'm like, I don't care what they're paying. We're just going to go,
That's right. Yeah, it's just, and I mean, the racetrack's great, don't get me wrong, but it's just the fans and the people and the staff there. That's what makes it a true experience to go there and something you definitely got to go do. And once you do it one time, you'll be wanting to go back and do it again.
Yeah.
Jonathan, is there any other track that you race at that remotely reaches the atmosphere that Falls delivers?
As far as the fan base, it's probably up in the northern tracks, maybe, let's say Cedar Lake. They have a really neat fan base there as far as people coming in after the races from the stands. I'm so used to being in the South. As soon as the checkered flag falls for the main event, it's a traffic jam getting out. But there seems that like they like to come and socialize with the drivers a lot. And there's a couple other places, but it's mainly in the northern states that happens at.
You know what's funny? I've noticed that too, but I've come to conclusion. In the South, they like to run a little later.
That's true, too.
That is true.
And normally when they're done, everybody's tired. Or the other thing that I could never get used to is in the South, and I'm saying there's nothing wrong. I am not starting a civil war.
We love the South, yeah.
But they drink a lot of beer and things during the races because you're allowed to drink in the pits. And normally by the end of the night, they're just kind of like, well, it's time to go home,
I already finished my 12-pack.
That's right. Well, and then again, you got some of them that has to stay for a little bit sober enough so they can't drive home.
Yeah, I wasn't going to say that, but yes, we've seen that happen too. And I thought it was cool, and we had seen, I think it was at Eldora. Obviously, it was at Falls. Some of your races that you had won last year, how cool. I mean, the fans come out. And I was thinking about this a little while ago. They called Dave Darlin in the open world sprint cars the people's champion. And I kind of look at you're the people's champion because most people, they're like, hey, they won. But you guys would stay out and celebrate and do stuff and really just enjoy the camaraderie of racing world. And I thought that was really cool at a lot of the events that you won at.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, even Eldora, we had like a fan party there behind the truck and left the car out all night.
Yeah.
And how about the DJ being on the lift gate?
Yes.
That's just, that's something cool that you'll always remember. So it's been definitely a good ride here last year, and just hope we can keep it up.
Well, it is. And we look forward to seeing you at the track. Again, it's always great to have you on, and good luck with the fishing. I still want to see some pictures on Twitter. So
I guess if the racing deal doesn't work out, you'll start fishing for a living?
I don't know. I'm not near as good as I am racing, but I've been racing a whole lot longer than I've been fishing. So I'm catching on to it a little bit, but we'll see. I'll post some pictures for you to see if I ever catch any more, maybe.
I was, I shot you a picture that Stephen Wallace has the bow fishing boat, and that was his boat.
Yeah.
And we'd go out on Lake Norman, and to me, I don't have a lot of patience for fishing. My father-in-law always wants to go, and I'm like, listen, if that hook or whatever falls into the water, it better hit, And what I thought was cool is we go bow fishing with Steven, and we would see, the lights. It's crazy all the stuff you see in the fish, and I'm like, they're just right below us. Why don't they bite when we're normally, here? But if you're in town, or Steven's selling that, I think he's kind of been done. But that bow fishing or spear fishing, whatever, there's different ways of doing it. But it is phenomenal at going at night and doing it.
That would be fun for sure. Yeah, I joke with everybody that I'm like a fisherman during the week because I get up early before the sunrise and out on the water, in bed late at night. Then I have to flip the switch for the weekend because I got to sleep late and I have to do my best work at night when I'm usually in the bed. So I guess it takes a toll on me, but I'll get it figured out. It's fun anyway.
Hey, don't change nothing because it's working.
That's right.
Well, all right. Well, we appreciate you being on the show, and thanks a lot for you just being you and a great racer. Again, thank you very much.
Thanks for having me. It's always a blast being on here.
Thanks, Jonathan.
Thank
I appreciate it.
It's probably the most humble guy that I met through the years that stays pretty grounded. And I compare him to Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy Johnson is a very, very talented guy, but probably his personality is still the same it was 20 years ago. And that's what you see with Jonathan.
And there's a lot of people that don't think that of Jonathan because he is kind of on the shy side when you first meet him. Once he gets to know you, he will then open up. But I think a lot of people have a misconception for him being this arrogant, he just doesn't open up to people right away. Yeah. And I think that hopefully our listeners realize, through our show that he is a very humble and fun guy to be around. He's not just always a racer. He is there to do a job. Yeah. And that is his job. And when he doesn't do the best at his job, he is frustrated with himself. But
well, you hit it on the head. He's there to do a job.
Absolutely.
The thing that, and I'd seen him, I found he's very active on social media. Yeah, so if you can, I think it's at Fast49 that you can follow him. But the thing that I found interesting is he's just as much a fan as he is
Absolutely.
A driver.
Yeah.
And I've watched him. We were at Golden Isles, and I just went up. I think I was done tearing my stuff up for the couple days. But anyways, we ended up just chatting, and we were talking about the racetrack and just races in general. It was just kind of just real good cutting up. So.
Well, we will speak to Stewart Friesen. Say that 3 times fast. We will speak to Stewart Friesen right after the break here on Slingin' Dirt on MRN, presented by Hercules Tires.
Slingin' Dirt returns in 1 minute on MRN.com.
O'Reilly. Restore your vehicle's lost power by cleaning your entire fuel system with Chevron Techron Fuel System Cleaner. Right now, buy 1 bottle, get 1 free at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Keep your engine clean and improve performance with Chevron Techron Fuel System Cleaner. Buy 1, get 1 free at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Limit supply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Before you set your fantasy racing lineup, check in with our experts to get the inside line on who's fast and who's last entering the race weekend. Robbie Mays and Tyler Burnett take you inside the facts, stats, and latest news from the track so you have everything you need to set your team and win the weekend. Log on to MRN.com and enter the Media Center every Friday. It's the inside line on demand and only on the Motor Racing Network.
O'Reilly. If your vehicle isn't stopping like it used to, visit O'Reilly Auto Parts for the Spring Break Deals event. Take advantage of O'Reilly's Do It Right rebate and get a $20 O'Reilly gift card by mail when you buy a set of Brake Best Select pads and a pair of rotors. O'Reilly Auto Parts, better prices every day. Limit supply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is Slingin' Dirt on MRN.com. Now back to Ashley and David Stremme.
Welcome back. You're listening to Slingin' Dirt, presented by Hercules Tires. Now on the hotline, he picked up the $5,000 to win at New Egypt Speedway this weekend. It is Stewart Friesen. Welcome to the show, Stewart.
Hey guys, how you doing today?
We are doing well. So tell us about this 7-hour scenic tour to get to New Egypt Speedway that was really only 3 hours from where you should have been.
Right. Well, we definitely took the scenic route. I tried to be a meteorologist and woke up at 5 o'clock Saturday morning and started looking at the weather, and the storm was coming up the East Coast, and New Egypt, New Jersey is right on the coast. So it looked like about race time it was going to be about 40-50% chance of rain there, and started checking Sealands Grove, and there was 0% chance there. So we got down to the shop, first thing, and kind of switched the cars around and loaded the big block car up with the Hoosier tires, and figured we'd go for the sure thing at Sealands Grove, and got just about there, and they canceled. So we kind of changed our plan again and hiked over to New Jersey and got there just in time for hot laps to New Egypt, and it all worked out. It was a lot of driving. It was a heck of a day, but it really worked out for us.
Hey, in case you didn't know, meteorologists typically aren't correct.
Right, and neither was I. So next time, I'm not even going to look at it. We're just going with Plan A. Our plan all along was to do New Egypt with the small block car, and just a little bit different setup. That was a small block car with sail panels and American Racer tires, and it was an open competition show. So big blocks, are legal too at a different weight bracket. So we kind of went with our best bet. We figured the small block would be a good fit for New Egypt, and it was. The small blocks were really fast, and Pouch Jr. came on really fast at the end with a spec small block. So, but it worked out for us. We had a good draw, started on the pole, and were able to kind of get out and hide with the big block, and it worked out.
I'm glad you talked about the open competition rules, because I really think it's a cool idea what they're doing up there for the special shows. You mentioned Billy Pouch Jr., and I believe Howard, he also had a different setup, and you three were the top three with all different combos. Can you talk about the motor weight options that they're allowing to try to draw more car counts?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. The dirt modified deal up here in the Northeast is kind of, all the chassis and rolling chassis are pretty much the same, other than some different body rules. Obviously, the sail panels on the rear of the quarters are a little bit different, But other than that, everything's pretty much the same. And the motor rules and the tire rules are kind of divided between the dirt sanction, Brett Dale's short track Super Series sanction, where he's a little bit more open, and then the PA New Jersey, their spec heads, small blocks. So there's like 3 or 4 different combinations you could have. And a lot of these bigger open competition shows, they're kind of doing different weight brackets where a big block can be 2,500 pounds, your spec small block with the unported, untouched Rodex heads can be 2,250, and then an open under 363 cubic inch small block, which are a good deal because you can pick them up used from a lot of different teams and a lot of different venues of racing. So you can get a good open small block for maybe 15, 20 grand, and that fits in about 2,400 pounds. So the racing's usually been pretty good. You see, just different aspects of it. Everybody's got a little bit different ideas. It's been good. It's been drawing a lot of cars, and as we've seen with the short track Super Series, and it's been good. They're drawing 40 to 60 cars per show, so it's been pretty cool.
Wow. Hey, so the race at Sealands Grove, didn't they still run the show, or they canceled?
They didn't. They for whatever reason, I guess it was due to extreme conditions, whether that be car count or weather. I wasn't really sure. We weren't quite there yet. Doing our switch around in the morning got us kind of 8-ball, so we were going to get there about half an hour before practice, which we thought was no problem. But we kind of got a heads up on what was going to happen from a couple different guys that were at the track, and we were kind of hanging tight and getting ready to do the break for New Egypt when we got the official word. So. I think they just ran some practice or something, but like I said, we didn't really actually get physically right there.
Yeah.
We were close though.
That's what I thought. I had seen some pictures of people on track and doing stuff, but so the chase in New Egypt. Obviously, when you go back to an open show, you think that you'll take your small block car, or you think you're just going to stick it with the big block car?
I think we'll go back with our small block. We had a lot of success with it last year. Billy the Kid, from Connecticut, built us a great motor. So we'll probably go back with that. The motor that we have is very similar to the one that was saving what Dwayne had in the 66 car. And he was pretty close. We were able to hold him off. There was a little bit of a bitey spot in the track. We were able to, really take advantage of the big block. But it's a little clumsier. You know, the heavier weight, the heavier motor is a little bit clumsier trying to get it turned around. But if there's some bite, you can take advantage. So, our starting position helped, and I got to thank Jimmy Horton. He hooked us up with a set of sail panels from Louis Saccone's car that we kind of fabbed on there at the last second, and it wasn't super pretty, but it did the trick, and
you got checkered flag. Yep. How's the wife doing?
She's good. She's good, and
how about that little one?
Parker's doing really good, and that's the reason I was up. We were up, feeding them at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I got on the internet and started looking at the weather. So next time I'm not even going to pick up the phone. We'll just concentrate on him and then stick to the game plan.
I love it. We were up feeding him. Remember that, honey, just in case that ever happens.
You're not helping.
Right. It's a team effort.
That's
and
right.
How
many diapers have you changed?
I've lost count. It's crazy. We went in. Jess and I both went into this, and we'd never changed one diaper ever. And we went into it, and now we're like, 3 months into it, it's like there hasn't been anything we haven't seen. We've been pooped on. We've been peed on. It's crazy. Anything that can happen does happen. So we're pretty seasoned at it right now.
Love it.
Well,
awesome.
That's great.
Well, Stewart, we appreciate you being on the show, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you again later this year.
I hope so. Yeah, appreciate you having me on.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right.
Love it. I love it.
Boy,
pooping and peeing
open.
On everybody.
He's busy right now. I can tell that. Besides with the little one, he's they're getting all their stuff geared up, and to drive. I was sitting here thinking logistics too. They're from New York area or New York.
Yeah, he literally went from here to there.
Yeah,
to over here.
That's you're not going to do that asphalt racing. I can tell you that.
No, that's for
that
darn
cool.
sure. Well, this weekend, LaSalle has their Thaw Brawl. It's $15,000 to win. The Clash is at Fayetteville. UFO is at Port Royal this weekend. Boot Hill Speedway, Louisiana. Why not Motorsports Park?
I think even
Genoa, Georgia. What?
There's a lot of places opening up. Fayetteville's opening up.
The Doug Hoffman Memorial is at Bridgeport. That'll be a cool one to see. As always, he used to be the promoter owner there at Bridgeport Speedway. Darren Russ Memorial at Georgetown.
USMTS.
No.
They're next weekend.
USMTS is next week for the King.
But there's a lot of, like UMP, a lot of the racers in the Midwest. I know talking to some customers like the Parkersburg, West Virginia area, Legendary Hilltop, a lot of different places getting going. So
And the cold streak that came this past weekend, I know it canceled one of the USMTS races.
I'll tell you, I can't remember it was interesting. We went to County Line Speedway.
We did,
and
it was cold.
For Southeastern race, Derek Ramey ended up picking up the win, but they canceled late model side and they kept the modified.
Yeah,
so
it was crazy.
It was a good show.
But anyhow, without you, the fans, this isn't possible. Our show's not possible, and the racing industry is not possible. So we thank you for joining us here on Slingin' Dirt. You can find us in the media center at MRN.com, on MRN's YouTube channel, also on iTunes and Race Day Nation on the iHeartRadio app. We are Ashley and David Stremmes, and thank you for joining us.
This has been Slingin' Dirt with Ashley and David Stremmes. Listen every Tuesday at 11 Eastern on MRN.com for more news, interviews, and opinion from dirt tracks all over America. Slingin' Dirt is a production of the Motor Racing Network. All rights reserved.